Hi everyone, my name is Karina. I'm Project Manager at the Udalenno Recruitment Agency. Welcome back to our channel where we're talking about recruitment. Today we're going to discuss the challenges of the remote work and see how we can overcome them. Let's get started. Due to the global trends, we see that a lot of companies are moving to working remotely and all the teams are going online, even for the companies who have never imagined doing so. So basically, the recent statistics show that most of the employees are satisfied with the remote working conditions, and we see that the majority of the employees, more than 85% of them, have said that they're being the same level productive working remotely as they are when they're working offline. And also a big portion of the employees have stated that they would prefer staying working online during this pandemic period and even after the pandemic period, and to keep to this remote work style. So even though it seems that most of us get really adapted to this remote working processes and we start to enjoy it and feel comfortable about it, still there are a number of issues related to remote working, and we're going to discuss them right now. The main challenges that people who start working online face is working too much. Yes, even though a lot of CEOs and managers think that if their employees are gonna go home and start working online, so then the productivity level would increase, but the statistics show absolutely the opposite. According to the statistics, a lot of people tend to overwork while they are working online. Because why this happens? So basically this happens because it's very hard to organize your time when your job and your private life is mixed in one place and you do not have this clear line where your working time stops and where your private life time starts. And there is some way to actually get more organized in this way and to overcome this challenge. It's to use different kind of notifications, calendars, or probably you can just have some schedule book, which is going to help you to organize the process for yourself and to segregate your private life, your personal life from your work life. And you can also put on the notifications, for example, to go to the grocery or to meet friends or to go to the hairdresser. And if you're gonna move according to the schedule, it's gonna help you to put the clear line between your working time and your private life time. The second challenge that I think most of us are also facing, those people who are working remotely, is the lack of human interaction. Yeah, even though the remote teams also provide a possibility to communicate, we have these different platforms such as Zoom and Slack where we can have video conferences, or we can text each other, talk to each other, but still we are all human beings, we're social beings, and we need to communicate and to interact with each other. And sometimes this can be quite complicated for us, but in order, to still feel connected with the people, you can, if you need, you can organize some breaks during your workday and go to have lunch with someone, with some of your friends, just spend an hour of doing offline face-to-face lunch. So the way how this challenge can be overcome is to organize some breaks during your workday, when you're gonna go outside, meet people, talk to people, or you can go drive a bike with your friends, like having 20-30 minutes break, or you can go to the grocery with some of your friends. So this is going to help you to have this human interaction and not to feel absolutely disconnected from the world around. So one of the main issues that we can face while working remotely is distractions. So of course in the office we also have different opportunities to get distracted. For example, some of our colleagues coming to us to grab a drink, to grab coffee, or we're just going to talk to our colleagues for 5-15 minutes, and distractions, they're the part of the life and we can't go absolutely without them. But while you're working from home, the amount of the distractions increases in proportionally because usually we live with our family members or we share our flats with our flatmates. So it means there's always someone in the flat who is requiring attention. But as you started to work remotely, you also have to set new rules to kind of feel more comfortable. And the most important is to organize your workspace. If you have a possibility to have let it be very little, but still more segregated workspace, which is going to give you a possibility to work quietly there. So it can be very useful because it will help you to minimize the distractions. Also, you can talk to your family members and to schedule with them, to negotiate with them at what times you can be distracted, at what times you have to be super quiet. And this kind of communication with your family members, with the people who you're sharing the flat with, can help you to stay organized and not to feel always stressed because of the small distractions coming from you than with people that are around. The next challenge that I would really love to talk about is related to the technological challenges. I think that most of us from time to time face them, no matter in how much internet developed country or any kind of emergencies can usually happen. And this is, I would say, the nightmare of everyone who is working online. Just to imagine that your internet connection is gone or your laptop is not working or something happened, because it means that for the whole day, probably you will lose the opportunity to work. To overcome this challenge, it's really important to, so to say, to plan in advance. For example, to find different options to get connected to the internet. Probably you can buy a good package for your cell phone to have constantly the access to the internet. Or also, it would be amazing if you have a possibility to, for example, have a backup laptop or a backup phone, at least if something happens to your computer, so you wouldn't get disconnected from the working process for the whole day. If you feel that something like this happens, it's always important to go to your team and to let them know that something has happened, because everyone understands that from time to time we do face emergencies. And also, if you're working with the clients, it would be amazing if you can text them and let them know that because of some technological issues you won't be able to join the meetings, or I don't know, have any different kinds of discussions with them. And yeah, so just communication with your team, communication with everyone who is related to your work process will also help you to distress this and to kind of move smoothly through the periods when something urgent can happen and you can lose the connection. And also, of course, the backup plans to make your connection, to make your availability as stable as possible. One of the last challenges that I would like to mention at this point is to organize your workload. So basically, this can be quite difficult for people to do, but we know that nowadays a lot of people who start working remotely, they dream about self-managing, of organizing their workload themselves, because it seems so liberating that you're gonna plan your day. And this really sounds cool and it's cool, but it is sometimes easier said than done, because when people start working remotely, they just start to understand, okay, that this is not that easy to manage yourself, because there are a lot of distractions, as we already mentioned. While you're working at home, you have a temptation to go have coffee or to watch some TV show or to, I don't know, watch some cartoon that you wanted to watch before. So anything can happen, and there's no supervisor who's going to set constantly the deadlines for you and who's going to stand and say, okay, don't forget that you have a deadline, please accomplish this project. So it means that you have to be very responsible for your own processes and to be able to manage them yourself. To do so, you can use different kind of project management platforms which are going to help you organize workload. So for example, like ClickUp, where you can go and set the tasks and put the deadlines to yourself. It's also very important to be very realistic about the deadlines. If you're going to have too many deadlines during the day, and then you realize that you're not being able to accomplish them, you would feel stressed, you would feel disappointed, you would lose your desire to continue working. So that's why you should be very realistic about your possibilities and about your understanding of how much of the workload you can accomplish during the day. So you would feel positive continuing working, and you would be eager to move with the projects more productively and efficiently. Also, it can be quite useful for you to identify the part of the day when you feel more productive, and for example, to move the most complicated tasks to that part of the day. So for example, I would say that I'm a night owl. It's easier for me to work in the evenings, and I hate working in the mornings. In the mornings, I can do some very basic process stuff, and in the evenings, I can do something which is complicated and which requires some intellectual resources to be used to complete the project. So that's why I move most of the things that I have to do that require some kind of intellectual input. I move to the evening because I know that I would be more productive. And in the morning, I usually deal with some, regular particular processes, which I can do mostly automatically. So this helps me a lot because during the day I feel not stressed. I feel like everything is planned and like everything is going all right. So that's why it helps me, you know, always to keep kind of keep with the pace of the projects going on. Basically, we see that there are a number of challenges that every one of us is going to face while working online, but it doesn't mean that we have to give up on the idea of working remotely, because believe me, working remotely is great. It gives you a lot of advantages and it helps you to organize your life more or less the way you want it to be. So of course there are a lot of ways how you can overcome the challenges come, and it's just the matter of you getting adapted to the processes and to finding the most efficient ways to organize your new remote work environment. So that's why I wish you good luck with your remote working, and also it will be amazing to know how do you cope up with the challenges and which challenges actually do you face while working remotely. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel and watch our videos, because we're gonna continue talking about recruitment and telling about something based on our experience, private and also professional one. Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.